Pro-war propaganda can sometimes be hard to spot, but thankfully, there is a ton of Zionist content online that doesn't exactly prioritize subtlety. As a disclaimer, there is a worldwide militarized misinformation ecosystem dedicated to conflating anti-Zionism with anti-Semitism.
When they say from the river to the sea, they say without any Jews. When they demonstrate on campuses against Israel, that means without Jews. So this is Adolf Hitler's book, translated to Arabic, Mein Kampf. Well, this book was found just a few days ago in northern Gaza, in a children's living room.
יש פה אייפד שמצאנו, כנראה של איזה נערה מתבגרת. עכשיו, מה אתה חושב שהיא תשים בתור תמונת שומר מסך? איזה נועה קילה או משהו, כן? קבל.
Zionism, in the way that these people are defending, is no different than American westward expansion in the Manifest Destiny era. One of the bloodiest and most hostile times in American history, similarly whitewashed to hide the annihilation of indigenous people and the vandalism of their land. The American state has every reason to aid and undermine the severity of what the IDF is doing to further aid their agenda in the region, fuel the military-industrial complex, and show solidarity with another ally in colonial genocide. Israel is a violent, segregated, hyper-militarized, expansionist puppet state that seems to remain completely unchecked by the powers that be. Despite the gruesome reality of the actions of the Israeli occupation forces, there are tons of people online participating in the most embarrassing propaganda possible. Shameless videos full of lies and manipulation, but it's also some of the most cringe I think I've ever seen. I didn't know it could get this bad, really. I never expected this. And remember, there is nothing more cringe than defending war. Press subscribe. The first person I want to talk about is someone named Noah Tishby. I had no idea who this person was. I just saw the video that I'm about to show you. But according to Wikipedia, they are an Israeli activist, actress, model, producer, and writer. Writer is doing a lot of work in that sentence, considering she's only written one book called Israel, A Simple Guide to the Most Misunderstood Country on Earth. Okay, so on page 5 of Israel, A Simple Guide to the Most Misunderstood Country on Earth, she describes her service in the IDF as basically a nightly USO tour where she performed sketch comedy and covered hit songs. Playing songs for the baby killers. What a job. They get sad, so you gotta make them do the cha-cha slide every now and again. Thank you for your service, Noah Tishby. She's known for Ghosts of Girlfriends Past from 2009. I don't know her from that. She was a co-executive producer on In Treatment. No writer tags, just that one book about how she was a IDF circus clown or whatever. All right, so let's see what she has to say.
Hi, everybody. So tonight, the Grammys were hijacked in favor of Hamas agenda as singer Lennox called for a ceasefire, denying Israel's right to defend itself and also not calling for the release of the hostages. So basically giving Hamas exactly what they wanted. You know, I think that next time a singer wants to do something that's good for humanity, they should probably call on the release of innocent women and a baby and a toddler from the hands of a genocidal terrorist organization. I think that's probably a good idea.
That's all that's left. Noah thankfully did me the favor of writing out everything she said in the caption of the video. Tonight, the Grammys were hijacked in favor of Hamas agenda. Listen to her hit that hard H.
So tonight, the Grammys were hijacked.
Interesting choice of words, Noah.
In favor of Hamas agenda.
Hamas agenda. Hamas is not pronounced that way. It's just pronounced Hamas.
As singer Lennox called for a ceasefire, denying Israel's right to defend itself and also not calling for the release of the hostages.
I don't really know what Noah Tishby thinks ceasefire means, but it certainly doesn't deny Israel the right to defend itself. Not that it's defending itself by currently occupying and invading and leveling Gaza. Which, by the way, I mean, I personally feel like we're long past the time where calling for a ceasefire is even enough. It's the bare minimum. I mean, everyone in the world, pretty much, other than the United States and Israel, just wants Israel to stop. It's not even about like hostage exchange yet. That's not the first step.
So basically giving Hamas exactly what they wanted. You know, I think that next time a singer wants to do something that's good for humanity, they should probably call on the release of innocent women and a baby and a toddler.
A baby and a toddler. I'm not so sure Israel cares that much about the hostages. Israel also has a number of hostages. We can't forget that. Prisoners of war, subject to torture. My favorite part about this video is that she starts it like she just ran into a room.
Hi, everybody. So tonight, the Grammys were hijacked in favor of Hamas agenda.
I don't really know what that's supposed to mean. Hamas's agenda? Is that what you're trying to say? Basically, guys, yeah, so the Grammys were just hijacked in favor of a Hamas agenda. Did you guys see it? You'll also notice, just a little kind of subtly, Noah Tishby here, who is talking about the Grammys and has never made music before, is on the stage, just in case you were wondering if this is really about Israel or if it's actually about her. Me.
If you haven't figured it out yet, let me explain something. Never in the history of the world has there been a genocide that could be ended by a terrorist group handing over hostages and surrendering.
Internationally touring stand-up comedian based in Europe. Literally the last thing he was in was a short called Du bist so wunderbar. No respect for the Germans. He was in a Fairly Odd movie. Daniel Ryan's first point here is pretty nice because it is just gaslighting. Hamas can't hand over the hostages until a ceasefire happens.
That's not how genocide works. Hitler wasn't like, hey, hand over our hostages and surrender Jews and we'll stop killing you.
I think it is genuinely very ignorant to act like the Holocaust is the only major genocide that has happened. You're doing that comparison to like weaponized trauma and just shut out opposition while justifying another genocide. It's very shameful. Also, there's no indication that handing over the hostages would do anything. Netanyahu has made it very clear what he intends to do.
It's a war. You see, what's actually happening is that the Islamist Nazi terrorist group that's constantly telling us that they want to genocide the Jews and destroy Western civilization is trying to genocide the Jews and take over Western civilization.
I spilt my yerba. It's ironic to make points about Western civilization an unironic white supremacist neo-Nazi talking point. What do you mean Hamas is trying to destroy Western civilization? There are going to be humanitarian resources in the description of this video. I'm going to be donating, and I encourage you to please do the same if you can possibly spare it, or even send one of those links to someone who you think can. Hamas wants to kill the Jews and destroy Western civilization. I mean, both of these things are boogeymen that just aren't true. Western civilization is nothing. Western civilization is shopping malls and parking lots. Western civilization is the military-industrial complex and Chili's. Western civilization is also Hollywood movies, like the Fairly Odd movie. You gotta defend that, otherwise Daniel Ryan be out of a job.
It's called ideological subversion.
You are doing that right now.
That's why there's a bunch of purple-haired girls roaming the streets chanting, there is only one solution, Antifada revolution. They do have a really good chance.
God, that was so fucking cringe. What the hell does he mean purple-haired what? Gay men really are the weakest link. To like immediately turn on purple-haired girls or whatever. Like that's very clearly like vice signaling homophobia in like the fucking I'm gay and homophobic fucking who does that? Dave Rubin. Does anyone know who that is?
So wake the fuck up, stop being a bunch of hipster Nazis, and leave these Jews alone.
I'm dying. I think this is killing me.
Now, if you'll excuse me, I'm a power gay at the Sundance Film Festival, and I'm gonna find some gorgeous Jewish producer to hook me up with a TV show, because I have a genius level IQ.
Guy who believes in IQ because he got really big number on it. I'll believe the fucking racist ass IQ system. It's telling me I'm smart.
I'm fabulously funny, and I single-handedly ended global anti-Semitism.
Some of the people chanting Intifada Revolution are Jewish. Marjorie Taylor Greene's a fucking Zionist. You know what I mean? That's whose side you're on. Ask yourself, why do Christian Republicans love Israel so much? Maybe it's because it's like their ideal military state. Racially segregated. Right-wingers love that shit. Also, sorry, he said he was gonna get hooked up with a TV show? What does that mean? I don't think that's how it works. You find a producer and you're like, hey, and he gives you the show because you have a genius level IQ. I like boasting your IQ and then not saying what it is. It's genius level. I'm sorry for what I'm about to expose you to. I don't know who the damn this woman is. Some influencer who talks about Israel all the time. She's not like important enough to have a Wikipedia page, and her bio doesn't say anything, but let's hear what she has to say.
Oh, hello, Hamas lovers, and Ahlan was Salam. What do you think? No one sees your tactics? It's like everything you and your lovers do, you're trying to blame on the Jews so that the world will not talk about you. Zionism is colonialism. Education, more like ignoration.
What do you mean you're trying to blame the Jews so no one will talk about you. Is that directed to Hamas or the Hamas lovers? Education more like ignoration.
The last time I checked, Cleopatra and Pharaoh were Egyptians, not Arabs, not Muslims.
What the fuck? Egyptian isn't a race. Neither is Muslim. Arab is like an ethnicity. I don't understand what her point was there. I don't know why she said any of that.
That came from Arabia conquered the whole area.
Arabia?
Baby, good for you. Well, just stop saying it about the Jews. Wait, and what about the funny part you're saying about the Israelis? Go back to where you came from. And who says it? The immigrants from the streets of western cities.
Oh! She like completely changed topic. The Arabs that came from Arabia conquered the whole area of Arabia. And then she says, good for you, but stop saying it about the Jews. Are people saying the Jews conquered Arabia? Because that isn't true.
Go back to where you came from. And who says it? The immigrants from the streets of western cities.
The immigrants?
Who left your Arab states only to immigrate to a place that you hate? You hate the culture, you hate the values, you hate the state.
I mean, I don't even know what country she's talking about.
So why did you leave your countries in the first place? Why?
Jump scare, dude. Holy shit.
Why? We had to leave our Arab countries because we did not have rights. So we got to Europe, and Europe, they have so many rights, and they treat us so nice. Suckers.
So immigrants in the streets of Western cities are complaining about their rights in those Western cities. I guess we're not talking about Israel anymore. The countries that she's not naming that those non-specific immigrants hypothetically immigrated from to Europe, they don't have rights there either. So they should go back.
In Europe, they have so many rights, and they treat us so nice. Suckers.
That's so gross to be like that Islamophobic, where you're like, yeah, immigrants seeking refuge from states destabilized by Britain and the United States. They are exploiting Western governments for like their resources. I don't know. This is so fucking racist.
We will use the infidels' rights and values to conquer them in the end. We want the Sharia law again. Gotta love your common sense.
Gotta love your common sense. I don't think this horrible, horrible monster in a woman's clothes is able to communicate her extremely vile racist ideas properly. But I think she's trying to say that the exploitative immigrants that are coming into European cities are trying to institute Sharia law. I don't fucking think she knows what that is. Sharia law is like the greatest boogeyman for Islamophobes to just throw out there whenever they want to stop the argument. I win because I'm scared. There are no Sharia laws in any Western government. So fucking stupid. It's just a complete fabrication. And the idea that the people fleeing places enforcing policies like that are trying to do them in the places they're fleeing to is just racist.
Oh dear. Hamas lovers. If you really hate your Western home, maybe, just maybe, you should go back to where you came from. Did you consider going back to Arabia? Because we did. We returned back to Judea. But you are right. Who wants to ride their camels and donkey to school every day?
Oh my God.
It's not that you wanted a better life. You believe in Dar al-Islam. Fight and conquer infidels. Because we believe in peace, in salam. But you gotta understand, you taking over the West, humanity cannot take this chance.
The fact that this person is able to like cosplay and intermingle as if they're like a liberal when they are like a far right fundamentalist nationalist fascist. I mean, like, this is actual Nazi shit. Who wants to ride camels and donkeys to school every day? The West cannot risk being taken over by the global threat that is Islam. I mean, fuck, man. How do you do this?
We need inventions. We need science. We need technology, philosophy, and truth.
Yeah, the Western world does need science that the Islamic world invented. But belligerent idiots are going to defend the status quo that makes them feel the safest. And Islam is very scary when you're a racist asshole.
We can't exist only on suicide bombers, shawarma, and hummus.
Oh my fucking God. This is some shit you would hear on Xbox Live in 2009. This, horrible woman has several thousand followers and freely just makes this disgusting, hate-filled propaganda in honestly the most insufferable tone.
Oh, hello to the people of Gaza. I want to help you have a better life. All you need to do is stop playing victims all the time.
You said this is going to be a safe place. How many times did you lie to us about this place is being safe and then turning back and bombing us?
Israel has continually told refugees from Gaza to flee to certain places where they won't be bombing and then bombs them anyway. Civilians, emergency services.
Turning back
Do you know how the Jews survived? They always looked at the bright side.
Oh!
I think you should say thank you to the Israelis that during war, you are still well informed.
Yeah, thank them for lying to you and then killing you. What's your problem? Be grateful.
Where you should go? Well, I would not go to Egypt. So maybe, like the IDF said, go to the north. Yeah, the IDF is warning you. Oh no! You are talking to us about being safe? Now, I want to understand, safe like who? The people you murdered? The one you beheaded?
Are you talking about that little girl? What the fuck is wrong with you? Like, this is explicitly about civilians. Because according to Israel, the Hamases are in the tunnel under the hospitals that they, you know, have to blow up. Like, these are the evacuation paths that are getting bombed. I took a break. I got too pissed off.
You're talking about the only Jews you love being in Gaza. You don't like the IDF, but you love the Jews inside your tunnel rat. You opened a war. Maybe you should also complain that the IDF
You opened a war?
did not give you a massage. Maybe a glass of wine next to some candlelight. After October 7th, you better save your complaints.
I'm no pearl clutcher, but there's something that's really disturbing me about the way Zionists like this talk about warfare like it's a fucking video game or a movie. I really feel like the media has contributed to this like anything goes mentality where people use the excuse that it's a war. It's like, yeah, we blow up hospitals. It's a war. You get to kill. And it's like, no, there's rules. You can't just do whatever you want, especially when you're occupying land that don't really belong to you.
And should protect you. They got more than 80% of your support. But you want to complain to the people you slaughtered. We lied to you. Say thank you. We are even talking to you.
What?
You are the most pampered, spoiled, and privileged people I've ever saw.
That is just a deranged thing to say.
Listen, someone gotta say it to your face. For decades, you are the same. You don't evolve, you don't change. All you are about is violence and alligator tears. And even COVID was able to evolve. Couple of times in the last couple of years.
I don't understand what makes a person like this.
Well, Biden, did I just hear that you're threatening not to send us military aid? He's doing exactly what Hamas wants.
That's such a gross catchphrase. You're doing exactly what Hamas wants. It's just the new version of you're letting the terrorists win.
What the progressives and the radical left and the woke and the anti-Semites and the radical Muslim world and all terror organizations, this is exactly what they want. By making this decision, terrorists got to you. You have balls, but only when you're talking to the Israelis, right?
That's insane to say that. You're insane. She literally has so many videos. It's just endless. Hateful derangement. And people are constantly clowning on her. Oh, I guess she started posting in English. I wonder why. This next one's really bad. MIM Alic, I guess she's a neuroscientist. She met God and saw the future. MIM posts her reaction to Stand Up Dandut because it was making her laugh so hard. I thought you should see how hard I was laughing, and maybe you need a laugh from Dandut too. I'll tell you, you're not gonna get one. This video is genuinely really perplexing because I don't think she was recording while she was watching it for the first time. I think she watched it, thought it was so hysterical that she decided to watch it again and record her reaction, mimicking how funny she thought it was the first time.
From the river to the sea, Palestine will be free. I'm like, this is the new From the Window to the Wall.
That's literally just reference humor. You guys remember that?
Yeah, it's a little genocidal, but the beat slaps. Listen to ours, they're awful.
Yeah, wipe the tears away. You're laughing so hard at the window to the wall joke.
Because Jews like to convince you with a bunch of facts and minutia, rather than just sticking to a catchy tune, right? They're like, okay guys, we're gonna do one of those chants, okay? It goes, when I say X, you say Y. X, Y, X, Y. Okay, here we go. When I say that in 1948 there was a UN partition plan.
She started laughing when he said in 1948, the year the Nakba happened, the genocide. Like, obviously that's not intentional because she's pretending to laugh, but the fact that she laughed at that moment is not lost on me.
Giving a separate state of Palestine alongside a state of Israel, and the Palestinians rejected it and the Israelis accepted it.
Yeah, I wonder why the Israelis accepted a partition plan that was like, hey, Palestine, you lose this amount of land and Israel becomes Israel on top of it. What do you mean they rejected it? That's such a good deal for them.
And then there was the War of Independence, which against all odds we won. And then in 1967, there was the Six-Day War, where all the Arab armies attacked us. And again, against all odds, we won.
She's laughing so so hard just lying about history in a funny voice. That's the joke. Unironically, using the same logic that a lot of us were taught in school to justify Native American genocide. We signed a treaty with them to take their stuff and them not kill us for it. And something happened, it got mixed up. But that is always contextualized after the fact by the Americans as the indigenous people breaking it first or doing something wrong to deserve it. America historically and throughout its contemporary history has had no intention of respecting indigenous land rights at all. So it makes perfect sense for America's pet project in the Middle East, Israel, to function very much the same way and not respect any of the treaties that are ever signed ever.
And then, of course, there was the Refugee Crisis Resolution 242, which we will take care of.
She's losing it to this. You can't be laughing this hard, for real. This is crazy.
And then in 1973 was the Yom Kippur War, where Egypt and all the other armies attacked, and again we won.
What is the joke? Why is she laughing so hard? She's turning red, dude. It's still going.
Gaza back to the
Yeah, take your glasses off. It's so funny.
Palestinians and
Oh,
Hamas
man,
took
they're
over.
cracking up.
And then Waze is an application.
Hitting the reference humor button again.
So I guess what I'm saying is that every country has their problems. You say yeah.
She's still laughing. The people in the room aren't laughing. They're cheering and clapping. That's how you know you got a real funny set on your hands. Every country has their problems. Crazy way to justify something. The last of these guys I'm going to talk about is Michael Rappaport from The Simpsons. Made a lot of these videos. I think he's in Israel currently, just constantly making videos about how nothing is wrong.
All right, I'm in Jerusalem at the Machane Yehuda market. I'm looking for the apartheid. Okay, in Israel, I am looking for the apartheid. I just asked all these people, not one person is able to tell me where the apartheid is. So I'm asking you on this platform, since you're so smart, to tell me where I can go to actually witness the apartheid. You guys know where the apartheid is? No.
I don't think he knows what apartheid is. He doesn't know how to say it. Apartheid? Yeah, I don't know where that is either, Michael.
No idea. No one knows where the apartheid is, but I'm sure you can tell me. Let me know where the apartheid in Israel is.
Someone obviously replied to this with a segregated road Palestinians are literally not allowed to legally drive on. And this highway leads to an illegal Israeli settlement. His response was, I had one of the best home-cooked farm-to-table meals of my life last night in one of those settlements. Fuck your stock footage. He had all this. You think there's apartheid in this country? Look at this bowl of green. I ate that and it was fucking delicious. Almost as good as the bowl of white. So yeah, there's no apartheid because Michael Rappaport had a good, nice little dinner meal in one of the settlements. One of them, I don't know. Oh, he retweets Einav. That's not good.
You don't like Jews? You. You don't like Israel? You. You say genocide? You. You say apartheid?
Don't even say it. I'm pretty convinced he's never heard anyone say the word apartheid out loud, and he's only seen it on Twitter, so he's just reading it, and he doesn't know how to actually say it, and that's why he keeps calling it apartheid, and no one around him is going to correct him because he's a stupid old man. When he's not like screaming at random Twitter users in his videos, he's like just taking a bunch of nice pictures with people. I'm gonna try to guess what he's saying just by looking at the video. You see right here, this ocean is Hamas. If you think anything different, you're a fucking anti-Semite.
Stop worrying about the fucking sea. Stop worrying about rivers and all that shit. Build your shit up, man. Get yourself some restaurants. Get yourself some hotels. Start a fucking Gaza Film Festival.
Guys, I know how to fix Gaza. It's like a Nathan For You bit. The Super Bowl of terrorism. The greatest day in the history of Gaza was 10/7. Holy shit. I don't know if there's any reasoning with people like this. The main thing all of these videos have in common is this smug, condescending attitude that generally is like a form of manipulation emotionally. All of these people just browbeat you and abuse you verbally so you don't even want to question what they're saying. But when the evidence is so overwhelmingly to the contrary, you realize that that's all they have, is just yelling at you. Manipulation is a necessary tool for oppressors to justify violence. And it comes in a lot of forms, whether it's to muddy the waters to obfuscate blame, or demonize their victims in increasingly conspicuous ways. It's an example of the most brute force kind of manufacturing consent. And I'm not the kind of person to act as if these situations aren't inherently emotional, but the seething condescension and the transparent ignorance from Zionists online is never used as a tool in pursuit of justice, but exclusively as a justification for devastating brutality, cruelty, and a callous denial of reality and history. It's shocking to me that people are so willing to post things like this out in the open. And I feel like one day these videos could be in history books describing mass genocide denial, but it doesn't seem to matter to them. Thank you so much for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Make sure to check out the humanitarian resources in the description of this video and donate if you can. Thank you so much to my supporters on Patreon who make videos like this possible. And thank you again for watching. I'll see you in the next video. Bye.